Hi guys, welcome to my channel Is My Code. In our last video, we learned how to create the login page of our Angular application. We created the UI of the page. We also went through the workflow of our Angular application, meaning how the control flows from index.html to our component pages. We also uh, created the logic of our login submit button in a TypeScript file of our login page. So this is all we did. In this video today, we are going to learn how this Angular application interacts with our core API and how our core API interacts with our database, which is SQL Server. So we are going to fetch the data. We are going to validate the data, whatever the user has entered in the username and password field, and we are going to validate against our table in a SQL Server using the core API and Angular here. So I've already created the application. I will go through the entire process step by step to make you understand. If you have any questions, you are always welcome to ping me in the comments. I will answer them as soon as possible. So if you can see, we already have the login page, the very basic page and with basic validations. You can add your validations. You can add or modify the screens as per your need. So if I don't enter anything and if I say submit or login here, so I will get a error message of not a valid user. If I enter something which is wrong and say login not a valid user again, and if I enter something which is correct and say login, I'll get successfully logged in. Now instead of alert in subsequent videos, we are going to see how after login we go to the other page. This will cover in the next video. Is just for the basic understanding. I have included this alert box to show that the login submit is working. Now let's move to our code. So in our last video, we did till here login submit. We added this method in a TypeScript file. I explained the logic of this method. Uh, Here we are again. I will go through it again. Here I just included the basic validations. If user not entered in anything, and then here we are calling the API method get user details, which is inside the home controller, which is under the our API core API. Base URL is our URL which is automatically referenced using this inject base URL, which is present in our launch settings.json file. So let's create our home controller and everything. So let me show you how it is done. So first thing first, I will be connecting our core API to our database. So we need to have the connection string of our database. Uh, in our ASP.NET web applications, we see that we add the connection strings in our web config file. But here in Angular ASP.NET Core with Angular, we need to add the connection strings in our app settings.json file. So if you open the app settings.json file, I have added this connection string here. Okay, you can also add the connection strings here, and then subsequently we will reference this connection string in our controllers and other pages. So after that, what I have done is I added two libraries in my project. First is the common layer, and second is the server layer. This is just to add or in order to make our application into a multi-layer architecture. So I have added these libraries. The common library will have a business object folder under which I will include all the manager level classes. Common, as the name suggests, it will be a mediator between our controllers and to the server layer. And again, server layer, as the name suggests, it will interact with our database. So I have the data access objects folder, which will have all the data access object classes. Also in my controllers, in your basic default application, normally by default weather forecast controller would be present. You can delete that, and I've added this home controller here. So this is the logic of our home controller, how Angular will interact with our core API. So this is the very first page which Angular will see, and and its method will be hit. So in our login.ts we are calling the get user details method. So if I would open login.component.ts, you see here I have written the path as API slash home slash get user details. So if you go to controller, so what you need to do is in your route attribute above your class home controller, you need to mention the route as this API slash home, and then in your subsequent methods, whatever you are calling from your Angular, you need to mention the route attribute again, and whatever name you are going to give to your method here, the same name should be present in your login.component.ts when referencing the method. So I have included the same name as that of the method. You can include any name as per your choice. Now the second point is if you see here we are calling the http post method, because not only we are passing the input parameter to this get user details, but also we are fetching the details from the method. So that's why we are using the http dot post method here. So you also need to make sure that you are including the http post attribute at the top of your method, as per your, like if you are using get, then you need to use http get, otherwise http post. When using http post, you need to make sure that you are writing this from body tag here, and you can pass the input parameter and store it into an object. I'm using an object type variable user input. Okay, now moving on to this I configuration. I configuration is the instance of Microsoft dot extensions dot configuration. This is basically for reading our connection string from our app settings dot json file. So this is the logic for that. Okay, so here we see that I have included a variable of configuration of type I configuration. This I configuration is coming from Microsoft.extensions.configuration, which is needed to read a connection string from our app settings.json file. Okay, so I'm using dependency injection. So home controller is the constructor of our home controller class. So this is the logic for reading the connection string from the app settings.json. Subsequently, we will be passing this connection string to home manager and also to the DAO layer, where we will fetch the connection string. Coming back to our get user details method, you can see here I'm creating the object of our home manager class, and the object user input I am converting it into a JSON string and then fetching the subsequent values of username and password. I am passing these username and password to the get user details of home manager class. So coming to the home manager class, this is the class file. Again here we are passing the configuration to its constructor, and subsequently we are passing this configuration information to our DAO layer. So home manager, as I already told you, it will just act as a mediator between the core API and our DAO layer. So we have the get user details method here, and then from here we are calling the get user details of our DAO layer. And so here if you expand this constructor, so the configuration that is the configuration value that is coming from a manager class, from that we are going to fetch the default connection from our app setting.json. So if you open the app settings.json, here you see the default connection attribute. So this is what we are referencing in our DAO layer. So as soon as this particular class is called, the connection string is stored in this connection string variable, and then we write the subsequent method. We are just it is a normal ADO.NET code. We are calling the stored procedure get user details, which is used to fetch the data depending on the username and password which is provided. So I'm just passing the username and password, and it is giving me the data, and then I'm filling it up into the data set. So once this is done, it returns the data set. It goes back to the home manager. It goes back to the home controller class. Here we are returning the JSON object. We are converting the data set into a JSON object. As you can see, the return type is JSON result, and we are passing the JSON object back to the Angular method. So as soon as this is completed, it goes back to the login.component.ts, and the control comes over here. Here we are passing the JSON string returned by the get user details of our controller class, and we are storing it again into the result, and then we are checking the subsequent validation whether the result is null or not, and passing the alert message as successfully logged in or not a valid user. So this is the basic flow, how Angular and Core API and how Core API and database interact. This is for the HTTP post. For HTTP GET, that is also very easy. Nothing very tricky about it. All you need to do is you need to write this same line of code, but instead of this input parameter, you don't have to enter anything. So you need to remove this input parameter from here. You need to write GET instead of post, and in your home controller, you need to change the attribute to HTTP GET instead of HTTP post. That is the basic difference, and of course you need to remove the input parameter from this method. So HTTP GET we basically use if we are filling a drop down list, or if we are binding our tables with the data from the DB. Basically for that only we are using HTTP GET method. Post, as I already told you, post is used for both injecting a user input and also fetching the data from the core API. Okay, so yeah, so this is the basic workflow and how the application runs and how Angular interacts. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts about anything, please comment to me. I will answer all your queries. If you are facing any issue with the logic, if you want the code, if you want the MDF file of the dummy database, please comment. Uh, thank you so much. If you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel, please do it. Please watch the videos. I will come up with